First, and most obviously, it's a warning to shut up about Nick's death. He said exactly what everyone's been thinking. We used to like Truckies, now we actually fear them.
Another day, another bikie firebombing.
Even when Nick Martin's dead, they're still going after him. Tattoo parlours and firebombs. Martin's widow, Amanda, runs a tattoo shop in Westminster that's been firebombed. Not very well firebombed, there wasn't much damage in the end. There are two theories about why this has happened. First, and most obviously, it's a warning to shut up about Nick's death. Amanda and her daughter Stacey have both been vocal about why they don't believe this was a lone wolf assassination. They reckon a man the cops have codenamed the Baker was the mastermind behind Martin's assassination. The Baker is believed to have paid the guy who has since pleaded guilty. We can't tell you anyone's names because there's suppression orders imposed by the courts. The Baker is in jail though, so it clearly wasn't him that targeted the Emerald Ink tattoo shop. He was also in jail in June when Amanda's other business, Obsidian Ink, was set on fire. That firebombing happened a month after someone went in to get this tattoo. Police later released a picture of a woman seen fleeing from the area. So the Martin family could be being targeted by someone who is acting for the Baker or someone who is acting for themselves because they were part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, but why would they be targeting Martin's widow?
Usually families are off limits, even for bikies. But Nick Martin had an unusual number of enemies. This guy was shot, bashed and bombed every few months ever since he became president of the Rebels. When he got the top job, the club was at war with a rock machine gang after a senior rebel defected to Brent Wrecker's operation. Tattoo parlours were targets back then as well. The Rebels owned Ink Assault tattoos in Bibra Lake. The rock machine had Lost City tattoos in Spearwood. There were a lot of firebombs back then also. Martin's Balcatta house was hit with Molotov cocktails in 2012. 3 of his trucks were firebombed in 2015. In 2018, Martin and the Rebels were at war with the Comancheros, and again it was tattoo studios that were on the front line.
Be careful where you get your ink.
And where you drink. That was Hell's Angels' Dane Brakovich having a quiet word with Martin at a bar in Scarborough 2 weeks before Martin was shot. He had enemies everywhere. The second theory about why Amanda Martin is still being targeted 11 months after her husband's death is money. By the time the bullet hit him at Perth Motorplex back in December, Martin was doing pretty well for himself. He had a new house and he was living large enough for the ATO to start asking questions. Martin's show of wealth pissed off a lot of fellow rebels who didn't like his swagger. He was a showman. He didn't shy away from talking to the media, and this put a lot of people offside.
But he had runs on the board.
He did. He took the Rebels from being a club that anyone could get into if you ponied up your nomination fee to a serious criminal enterprise. The first 4 years of the Rebels were actually quite quiet, but on October 19, 2000, they let everyone know they were here for the long haul. 215 rebels ride into Perth after crossing the border at Eucla 2 days earlier. The bloke leading them was Alex Vella, the national president. Vella read a poem at Martin's funeral, dropping bombs like this.
He was so proud of his mum and dad. What happened on Sunday was very sad.
And this.
Nick's life being one huge wave. The doctors, my mate, they couldn't save.
Watch out, Chaucer. Alongside Vella on that ride 20 years ago was Rebel Rick Roberts. Roberts was the face of the WA chapter until he was shot dead in Canberra in March 2009. That moment heralded the age of Nicholas Martin.
Which was the more powerful gang, the Rebels or the Clan?
Someone's finally had the balls to stand up to the Clan. The Liberal State Conference was held on Sunday, and one of the people who nominated for state president was farmer James McLagan. His platform was pretty simple.
If I'm elected, President of the Liberal Party of WA, Peter Colley and Nick Goiran have no future in the party in WA, and I'll move to expel them from the party.
How's that for a mic drop moment? He said exactly what everyone's been thinking, that the party of Menzies needs renewal, that it's in the grip of people who don't share the values of mainstream West Australians, that it needs a fresh approach, and he's the man to do it. They put his plan to a vote.
But our war cries will echo through eternity.
And he got 15 votes out of 240 something.
Thought he'd never shut up.
Because everyone voting is beholden to the very people he wanted to get rid of. McLagan knew that, but he was determined to make his point.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Even if it meant getting kicked out of his own party.
Speaking of disease, Goiran is refusing to say whether he's been vaccinated.
We don't know if he is or he isn't, and if he's not, whether it's because of health or religious considerations or something like that, or he's worried about becoming a magnet or getting bad 5G connections. I suspect Nick is staying mum because he reckons it's nobody's business because medical information is private and ultimately it's his body and nobody has the right to tell him what to do with it. Which is an interesting position to take when you have spent a fair chunk of your political career telling people exactly what they can and can't do with their own bodies. Not using them to have gay sex, for example. Not having an abortion. Not taking a drug that will allow you to die with a bit of dignity. Nick Goiran, I'm with you. It's your body, your choice.
He's not alone.
No, there's another MP refusing to disclose their vax status. Sophia Mormon from the Legalised Cannabis WA party. Her party profile says she's a registered nurse in the Netherlands.
Would you like a schmuck and a pancake?
Happy to talk about the virtues of hitting the pipe, but not the upside of vaccination.
Maybe they have faith that McGowan will keep COVID out of WA forever.
Until another truckie comes along and has COVID. We've had another near miss. We used to like truckies.
Trucks, I love them.
Now we actually fear them. We are finally going to use some of the 10,000 rapid antigen tests we sent to Eucla and Kununurra so we know whether the people coming in actually have the virus. What a good idea. These are DIY kits that cost $12. They take 15 minutes.
Well, what's your point?
My point is, why isn't everyone being asked to do this?
People never listen to you.
I know, but I still keep on trucking. I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.